Hey everybody, it's Jenna. And today we are going to go ahead and talk about the best types of yarn for your next hat. I know I'm excited. How about you? Let's go ahead and dig into this, shall we? Well, it's our normal Sunday yarn chat, and I'm excited to be here. And thank you guys for joining me. I am live right now on Facebook and YouTube. Eventually, I will no longer be live on Facebook because Facebook is no longer going to be holding our videos that we record. So, a little bit of yarn chat. That's why we're here, right? Last week's episode, you saw me go ahead and um, I went ahead and frogged a project that was just not bringing me joy. And I'm going to turn it into a hat. And that is one of the things we're going to talk about today, hat yarn. So, I have a whole bucket of yarn over here. And we're going to kind of go through every type of yarn that we have to talk about the pros and the cons of different types of yarn and how we want to approach being able to make a shawl or a hat. I am so sorry. Give me 1 second. You'd think I'd be a little bit more prepared. And here's somebody in the other room. So oh, it's always something over here making noise. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I tell them to please be quiet when I'm going live. And that's about the time everybody starts making really loud noises. It's like I should just not tell them I'm going live. That way they will hopefully not make loud noises. They just wait till I go live and then they just start in. Dave's installing a new ceiling fan in the other end of the house. Well, in the next room over. So let me pull up the comments. And I can say hi to everybody. If you're watching me live, go ahead and say hi. If you're watching me on replay, go ahead and put in hashtag replay and tell me you're watching me on replay on either Facebook or YouTube. Let me know where you're picking me up from. So, picking the right hat yarn. Do you ever spend time wondering what's the best yarn? Okay, we've covered a good yarn for socks, right? We covered a 4-ply with a good amount of nylon in there, 25%. Quite frankly, for me, when it comes to sock yarn, I don't know the difference between 20 and 25% when I'm wearing them. You know, I'll wear either if it's 80-20, 75-25. So we covered that. We covered shawls a couple weeks ago, and we covered the drape. But now we're going to talk about hats. Hats are one of the things that are awesome because being in Florida, I can wear a hat all year long. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I can wear a hat for quite a few months of the year. I can wear it starting in October in the fall seasons, going into bonfires and pumpkin patches and all that kind of stuff. And I can wear it all the way up into February if I pick the right yarn, if I don't pick too heavy of a yarn. I love it. A lot of things in Florida I can't wear all year because of the fact that it's Florida and it really doesn't get all that cold. So, some of my favorite yarns for hats, okay? I want a hat that is going to be next to the skin soft, okay? I don't live in a cold climate. I don't need a non-superwash Highland wool. Those are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful wools. I don't need that. I live in Florida. Okay. I mean, yes, it did snow here this year, but I don't need a really heavy, heavy hat. My hats, you know, they'll mostly be decorative accessories. Some warmth, yes. I mean, they do function for warmth. But really, do I need a hat in October in Florida? No. Do I need a hat in November in Florida? No. You know, really the only time I really need one is really, you know, end of December into January, early February. It's March here. It's gonna be almost 80 today. Um, hats, not really. But now look at this big, nice ball. 115 grams. Okay. And if you signed up for one of our um, mystery yarn bundles, you're going to get this. You could get this. Hand dyed, single ply, yumminess. Okay. You know, all those beautifully decadent single ply hats designs that are out there. There you go. I have a little hat. I have my own little stash right here. I pulled it off the shelves because I'm starting to do more hat designs because I love knitting hats. And you know what the other thing too is? They're quick. We all know I'm not the quickest knitter in the world. A hat in jumbo yarn. And this is enough to make one of those hats with, you know, that type of yarn. Okay. Not to use names. Okay. This is everything I have put aside for me. I need them to make samples. And hats, I can whip up in no time, but this is super wash. It is thick and plump and wonderful. It is just perfect. Okay. It's so soft. It is so soft. I almost just want to cuddle it. Okay. It's merino. So it's warm. Okay. And it has a little bit of nylon in it. Actually, no, this one doesn't. This is 100% superwash merino. Yes, it does. And it's going to give that warm, cozy, you know the one, hat vibe. So all those fun, trendy hats out there. So I pulled that one out to make. Then I pulled one out that was a little bit less. This is still a single ply. This also has nylon in it. And it is, take the wrapping off of it because I just put the wrapping on there for myself. But it is 100 grams and it is another soft, squishy, and this one is 100% merino. This one doesn't have nylon in it. So I lied earlier. This doesn't have nylon in it. This is a great yarn. Okay. It's another one of these. It'll make a nice beanie. Okay. So you want to find something if you're living in a warmer client or a colder client. Okay. You're looking for bulky merino, maybe alpaca. Alpaca is a great yarn for hats because it keeps you warmer. Alpaca is actually warmer than wool, than merino. Alpaca's warmer. So if you're living in the South and you're mostly wearing your hats for decoration and accessories, and you don't really, need a really heavy hat, but you love alpaca, try a hat in alpaca with a thinner yarn. Instead of going with a bulkier or worsted, try a sock yarn. It'll totally open it up, and lace, it'll look beautiful. This is one that I'm going to be doing a hat in, a sample, a tester hat. And I just love bulkies. I love bulky singles because they are just squishy. I love the way they take dye. I think they're just perfect. Okay. So choosing your hat fiber is so important. So that way you know what you're getting. You know already whether it's going to be a warm hat or a cooler hat something that'll breathe, something that maybe won't. Okay, nylon in your hat is not going to make a breathability difference. If you're looking at an 80-20 or 75-25, you're still going to be perfect with breathability. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Pulling out my stash of yarns here. Now, a lot of people might wonder about Pima cotton. I happen to love Pima cotton. Not only do I enjoy it for summertime tees, I love it for shawls. And I love it for hats. Seriously, it gives you, especially if you live in the South, you get a nice, breathable, Pima cotton, soft hat with a nice sheen. Okay, all wonderful, machine washable. Okay, with a Pima cotton, you're not worrying like you do with wool. Can I, can't I? Is it superwash? Isn't? It's cotton. Okay, just know that if you wash it on hot, you're probably going to shrink your cotton, whatever it is. But that's the case with anything with cotton, right? If you wash it on high, you're going to probably shrink it on hot, right? But Pima cotton, it's soft, it's shiny. If you get the 100% Pima, the cake's colors amazingly. Absolutely amazing. It's soft, it's breathable. I prefer it to linen for hats. Linen hats are good. I don't always like the drape of linen. I don't always like the texture and the feel. I'm all about the feel of a yarn. I want it to have a beautiful texture, a beautiful feel. That's what I need for it to have. So if I'm finding that I'm not having a beautiful texture and feel, hold on. Hold please. Did I just shut off the video? No, I didn't. Ha, I'm still there. Okay. It has a beautiful texture. Okay, it's breathable, it's lightweight. Pima cotton. Okay, Pima cotton. This is not the cotton that you buy to do your dish towels, your coasters, your dish towels. Those are all great cottons. Okay, for their purpose. Okay, if I'm making a dish towel, I am so making it out of, the mercerized cotton that you get at the big box stores, or I'll get some from my supplier and dye it. Okay, that's what I'm making. Let's see. Pima cotton and sock, even lighter weight, more beautiful, more scrumptious. It's amazing. It's decadent yarn. Now, one thing I don't dye is mohair. I have a bit of an I don't want to call it an allergic reaction. I don't like the way mohair feels on me. Okay, it gives me the itchies. My skin can be a little sensitive. But what I do dye is alpaca, merino, and cotton. Okay. Now, it's not the same price point as mohair, which is nice. Okay, you're going to come out of it with a nicer price point. But what you're going to get is the fuzzies. Can you see the fuzzies? It's going to give you the fuzzies. It's going to give you, because it's the brush Surrey alpaca, it's a beautiful fiber. Okay. Fingering weight, something like a fingering weight brushed Surrey alpaca or a blend of wool and cotton in there is going to give you the wonderful warmth of the alpaca. It's going to give you the nice handling and breathability of the wool, of the cotton, and it's going to give you the wool. So it's a great combination. You know what I would say for something, especially if it's in a fingering weight? use it as a second strand in a hat, or a beautiful little French beret type of hat with some lace work on it. Oh, I bet something like that would be beautiful. I think I know what I might be saving this one for. Then we start getting into things like our Simply Wool line. Okay. Simply Wool is the Highland wool. It's great. If you live in the northern climates where it gets to 30 degrees below zero or whatever, and everybody's always freezing cold, this is the yarn you want. Okay, you're looking for 100% Highland wool. You're not necessarily looking for merino. You're probably looking for non-superwash because it's going to be the purest of the wools. You want to make sure you have the warmth. Now, if you do find this and you blend it with alpaca, you're golden, okay? And it will keep your head so warm if you're in those climates. It really will. Now, it is not merino wool. It is not next to skin soft, at least to me. So if you're looking for something that is next to skin soft, you're probably not looking at Simply Wool 100% non-superwash merino. But if it has some alpaca thrown in, you just might be. Okay? Those are the things that you're going to want to be looking for. What makes the right sense to you for your hat project? Glisten yarns. They make beautiful hats. It's got a little stellina in them. You know, you can get them in sock, you can get them in DK. These make such nice. If you're using a stellina blend with nylon, you are looking at an amazing hat, or better yet, shawl, for when you are in the holiday season, right? I love doing shawls in this. I love doing hats in this, or using it as an extra fiber along with another fiber to just give it a little bit of sparkle. It'll shine beautifully with all of the glisten in it. It'll just shine beautifully. But the thing is that it's just so perfect. A little bit of glisten in there. You've still got the merino, you still have the nylon, but you have the glisten. It kind of makes it a little bit more precious for holidays. This is one that I've already used up a bit of. It's the southern worsted. This is my go-to. Quite frankly, this is my go-to. It's 100% superwash merino wool. It's worsted weight. As you guys know, I am not a fast knitter in the world. I love knitting hats. They're quick, they're easy. They're in an afternoon. I can sit down, watch a couple movies, listen to a couple podcasts, and I'm done. This is merino worsted, 100%. It's my go-to. Now, just remember, you were looking for softness, you're looking for warmth, you're looking for elasticity. If you're going to be taking this on and off your head, you want to make sure it's going to offer some stretch and make sure that it returns back to your original shape. Okay? That's going to be important. You're going to be looking at yarns that have the texture that you want. Okay? You want to make sure that you understand the difference in the way a single ply yarn is going to look knit up versus a plied yarn. Different looks, both stunning options. And I knit both, just depending on what I feel like that particular hat. That's kind of why I've made this huge pile of projects in here, that I hope to get through before the end of the year, because say it with me, everybody. Y'all know I'm not the fastest knitter in the world, but I have these hopes. I'm working on new designs for the Southern Stitch Box because I put a new pattern in there every month, and I'm working on some new designs. Might be some new hat ones coming along. Might be some new cowls. I love knitting cowls because I can take a cowl, a long sleeve shirt, okay, pair of jeans or leggings, put on a long sleeve shirt, put on one of my vests, put a cowl over my neck, and I am good to go. I've got a little something up here around the neck because sometimes shawls can just be a lot, it's can be fussy and fiddly sometimes. So a cowl can work great. It stays put, it's compact. Better yet, it knits up quick because I don't knit all that fast. And that's what I've been telling you guys about knitting. Enjoy the process. It's not about how fast we make things. It's not about can we keep up with everybody who has all their 2025 plans as I'm going to knit 50 things, or even when they're trying to do a month and they go, okay, here's my basket of yarn for the month. Now, honey, this is my basket of yarn for the year. Okay. I don't even know if I'll get through it all, but I'm going to try. So we talked about merino wool, okay? It's a favorite. It's a staple. It is soft. It is warm. And it has great elasticity, especially when you start putting in nylon, okay? You can get it in all sorts of weights. Sock, sport, DK, worsted, bulky, super bulky, okay? Super bulky. You need a last minute gift? It'll knit up in no time at all. Okay. Maybe you're looking for a little baby bonnet to knit up. I'd probably stick with cotton because you don't always know if the baby has wool allergies if you're giving it as a gift. I tend to always knit my baby knits in wool, in cotton, because yeah, sometimes parents can get a little fussy about that. So you just want to, know who your audience is. Is it for you? Are you living in a warm climate? Are you living in a cool climate? Is it for somebody who is living in a warm or cool climate? What about their preferences? Okay. Maybe they're allergic to wool. Stick with alpaca or cotton or bamboo or linen. Okay, there are so many options out there. You can even go ahead and look at things like acrylic. Maybe natural fibers doesn't fit into your price point, and that's fine too. Okay? Don't let anybody yarn shame you into thinking that that there's a problem with acrylic. Okay? Acrylic yarns can be incredibly soft. They're not breathable. Okay? They are not breathable, but they can be incredibly soft. They can be the right price point for you. You can even get them mixed with wool if you want. I know one of my favorite big box places is closing right now, and might be a good time if you do use an acrylic yarn to go in there and see what you can find on a clearance for their store closing. Which, off on a tangent here for a second, can you believe they're closing? I mean, shock, right? I mean, who would have thought they would have closed? I had no idea. I was like, oh yeah, they filed bankruptcy once. Okay, nope, closing, totally closing. So yeah, take advantage of it if you can. But like I said, just because I dye natural fibers, don't let anybody yarn shame you. If you like acrylic, use it. It's your knitting, it's your crochet, it's your project. Use it. It's fine. If you're starting out learning to knit or crochet, it's a great choice because you're not going to feel bad investing in a $25 skein of yarn and not be any good at it. Okay. The other thing is too, is if you're starting off new, a bulkier yarn is better. I wouldn't do a single ply. I just wouldn't. I would go with something plied. and probably a 2 or a 4 with a good twist. That way you can see the stitches. Because I know when I first started knitting, I did a lot of splitting my yarns, okay? And so I wouldn't recommend, if you're a new knitter, to use the sumptuous single plies, okay? But with merino, it could pill after heavy use, especially if it is a single ply. It can pill after heavy use, so you want to be on the lookout for that. Okay, treat it with care. And it's great for beanies, hats, ear warmers. It's wonderful. Cowls, mittens. It's a great, great yarn, merino wool. Oh, remember alpaca, we talked about that, is extra warm, okay? Alpaca is going to give you warmth. You can get it in a brushed Surrey alpaca mixed with a little wool, or get just a brushed Surrey held double, held with maybe like a DK yarn, and it'll just give you a little bit of that brushed through it, and it'd be beautiful. But you're still going to get that warmth that you want, and it's hypoallergenic, okay? You're not, if you are sensitive to wool, you're not going to get that. Now, if you are sensitive to wool, you are going to want to watch out, because non-superwash yarns still have their lanolin in them, okay? So, because they're really good, they're really pure. They are as close from animal to yarn as you can get, okay? They are rustic yarns, and they're wonderful. Like if you're making a Fair Isle sweater and you need to steek anything, perfect. But if you have a sensitivity to wool, you probably want to stick away from the non-super washes, especially the Highland wools, okay? So alpaca, again, it's going to have a beautiful drape. You're looking at slouchy hats. You're looking at nice drapey cowls. You're looking at wonderful lacy scarves and shawls, okay? Cashmere. Now, you can get cashmere mixed with wool, MCN, merino cashmere nylon. Great option, okay? They have it in all sorts of weights. You can get it like that, just like you can with alpaca. They have it in the various weights. It's going to give you a little bit of luxury, okay? Cashmere is cashmere, right? It's ultra soft. It's lightweight. Everybody loves it. It's incredibly soft and warm and cozy. MCN merino cashmere nylon socks, wonderful. You're going to be looking at a little bit higher of a price point, and you're going to pay for a higher price point with it. But it's warm, it's soft, it's decadent, okay? But it's also prone to pilling, okay? So you want to watch out for that. Maybe use it for more special occasion hats, lightweight cowls, or little shawlettes, okay? Probably the same with silk. You're going to want to be careful with it. It's going to be a higher price point, things like that. One of these days, I'm going to do a little bit of a dyeing tutorial, and I'll tell you all about dyeing alpaca and silk and and cotton, and how it differs from when we dye wool. Cotton, love it. It's a staple. You're in the warmer months, cotton, okay? Pima, cotton, okay? It's not the cotton that you buy in the big box store. Save that for your dishcloths, okay? And I love it for my dishcloths. I love it for my dishcloths, okay? Save it for your dishcloths. It is a perfect warm weather accessory, okay? It's breathable. It's lightweight. It maintains its shape, doesn't stretch much if you know, if you keep it that way. You can stretch cotton out. Careful with washing in too hot of water, okay? It's durable, it's washable, it's perfect for summer and our humidity. Like I said, cotton is my go-to for my summer tees. When I'm knitting a short sleeve t-shirt or sleeveless tee for the summer, I am using 100% Pima cotton. And you can't beat the sheen on Pima cotton. You really can't. If you're looking for an inexpensive, if you really want silk, and you want that look and that sheen, Pima cotton. You're going to spend a fraction of what you spend on a silk, and it's going to be beautiful. Okay. My Pima cotton tees, perfect. 100% Pima cotton. Okay. But you can also get Pima with nylon in it. Okay. There's so many options out there. Pima cotton can feel, or cotton in general, can feel a little heavy or a little stiff. That's why I still wash all mine, hand wash separately. I put in a little bit of eucalyptus and I lay them flat to dry. I do not throw any of my hand knits in the dryer. I just don't. I've taken a lot of time knitting it. I'm not just going to throw it in the dryer. Now, okay, not to say you can't. You can. But I have, in my years of knitting, I have ended up with quite a few items that my husband has thrown in the washer and then thrown in the dryer and then ended up the size for a Barbie doll or a small child. So I do not throw anything in the dryer. I hand wash everything just because he knows that if he sees something that's knit, he better not touch it and wash it. Nope, doesn't happen, because I don't want that to be a problem. Okay, you're looking for maybe a summer bucket hat. Okay, a lightweight scarf, market bags. A couple years ago, I had a big brim hat and came up bucket, and it's a couple different stripes of cotton across it and a wire put through it to keep the brim nice and good. Beautiful. It's my favorite beach hat. Okay. If I'm going to the beach or the lake, I'm wearing that hat because it's so great. It gets wet. It's not a problem. It's cotton. It'll dry. I don't really have to worry about blocking it because it holds its shape. It's great. Bucket hats, cotton. Okay. Market bags, cotton. When I was in can't say the word. When I was in the big box store that's closing yesterday, I went in there looking for things like, deals on scissors and thread and different things like that. And I peeked over at the yarn section and I was so tempted to throw some things in my cart. And my son said, "But Mom, you dye yarn. Why are you buying yarn?" I'm like, "I know. Oh, good reminder. Thank you." I'm like, even I walk through a store and I'm like a kid in a candy shop and like, oh, I want this one and I want this one and I want this one and I want this one. I know, right? Mohair. Okay. Mohair, but I'm also going to say, if you have sensitivities to mohair, don't forget our friend, okay, Surrey alpaca. Mohair. It is incredibly soft, okay? Hold it lace weight with another with another strand. It adds just such a nice element to it. It's going to give you a beautiful fuzzy halo that is just perfect. It's going to give you a warmth and a texture, okay? If you use it in a blend, it'll help reduce the itchiness. And I say that and I scratch my head because even the thought of mohair makes me itchy. Okay, so it's a lot of times you're going to want to get a blend of it. Mohair can be a little bit more pricey, not as pricey as cashmere, but it can be a little bit more pricey. Besides, if you have sensitivities, go with a blend, okay? A lot of times you can get a mohair silk blend. Excuse me. It'll also help with the durability if you go with a blend. A wool, a merino mohair, an alpaca mohair, a silk mohair. Okay, it's lightweight. It's warm and it's so pretty. Okay. You're just going to end up with this beautiful, beautiful fuzzy halo. Now, let's be real. Let's talk about cons. I am talking about mohair and I start itching. I'm not even touching mohair and I'm itching. It can be itchy if not blended with other fibers. Apparently, my sensitivity includes just thinking about mohair. It can be itchy if you don't blend it with other fibers, okay? Be cautious. If you're making this as a gift, you don't want to put in a lot of time and effort to find out that somebody is well, it has a sensitivity to mohair, okay? If you're going to use something like that, check first just to make sure that you're going to be okay. Okay? Perfect for lightweight berets, okay? Lacy shawls, fluffy cowls, that's all perfect for mohair, okay? Just be careful. People have sensitivities. Acrylic. Acrylic is a budget friendly, easy care, machine washable. Throw it in the dryer, throw it in the washer, don't worry about it yarn. It's also a great budget friendly yarn. And don't, like I said before, don't let anybody yarn shame you, okay? There are some acrylics out there now that are so super soft. Now, some aren't. I will be totally honest. There are some that aren't soft out there. But there's so many now acrylics and the way they process them that they are so, so soft and it can be tempting. Okay. Um, it's not probably going to give you the same warmth, okay, as a natural fiber. It's durable and it's great for kids projects, okay? If you know that somebody's going to be throwing something in the washer and in the dryer, or if you know that if you're gifting it that the person's not going to be able to, lay flat to dry, hand wash, blah blah blah, then acrylic's a good choice, quite frankly. It's great for kids. Honestly, it's a lot of times good for charity projects too, because you don't have to worry about, how it's going to be cared for. Okay. But keep in mind, it is not a natural fiber. It is less breathable than a natural fiber. It's like a polyester. So you're not going to have the breathability. Okay. It can get warm. It can get, a little warm. If you're in Florida, I probably wouldn't recommend it for a hat. I probably wouldn't, just for the fact that um it just is. I was like I said, I was tempted yesterday. I was so tempted because they had all the different, really thick blanket yarns that they have in the stores. They had all those out. And I was like, oh, they're on clearance. And there's make a blanket out of a big old thing like this. And I thought, I could. But it's acrylic. And quite honestly, I want a, sh- a throw that is more breathable than an acrylic. I like a wool. I like a cotton. I really like a cotton throw. One of my favorite blankets throws is a cotton throw. I just love it because it is breathable. But with an acrylic one, you don't have to worry. Just throw it in the washer. You're done. Okay? It's great. So it can feel less breathable than natural fibers. It's great for kid-friendly hats, okay? Or if you need a vibrant, trendy statement piece for a night, and you want to do something that you're probably not going to keep or something like that. You want to whip yourself up a Santa hat and you want to put like the faux fur yarns across it, or like a faux fur, make a faux fur pom out of everything. That's a great option, okay? It's good. It's fine, okay? The best thing you have to remember is you need to match your yarn weight to your accessory type, okay? Again, we just covered yarn bases, So let's remember our yarn weights because that plays an important picture in everything. Okay. Fingering sock weights. Perfect for lightweight, delicate projects. If you want a nice lacy hat, a slouchy beret, perfect in there. Okay. A little bit of merino wool, some nylon. Maybe you do want to add a little fuzz to it and kick it up with a little Surrey alpaca or mohair. Perfect. DK weight. So it's a workhorse for yarns for hats, okay? It's a great one. It's hats, cowls, mittens. You're going to get a little bit of structure. You're still going to get all the components of your um of your garment, but you're just going to have a little bit more than when you have just plain old fingering sock weight yarn, okay? Worsted, great. Worsted is my go-to. Okay, great for warm and cozy hats. It's going to keep the heat in there. Remember, if you mix it with some alpaca, warmer and cozier. Okay, and they make great for nice, thick, chunky scarves. I still have mohair on my mind, don't I? Bulky weights. Okay, last minute gift, a bulky hat. I tell you, seriously. Throw on a podcast, throw on an audiobook, catch up on, something on Netflix. Perfect. Okay. They are great for extra warmth, quick knits, and a trendy look. Okay. Go look on Etsy for all the hats that they're selling out on Etsy. Okay. You're all going to find nice, bulky, yummy hats out there. Okay. So let's keep in mind choosing the right yarn for your hat is a wonderful, wonderful process to figure out the balance between practicality and creativity. Okay. You're going to want to think of factors like softness and warmth and elasticity and texture. That way you can make pieces that are yours or pieces that are perfect for the person who you're making it for and you're gifting it for. Okay. You want them to reflect your personal style, but you also want them to be functional, okay? Remember, the best yarn for your project ultimately depends on your preferences and the specific needs of your accessory you're creating, okay? Don't be afraid to experiment with different fibers, different fiber weights, and try different patterns and ways to mix them up. You're going to create something beautiful with it. So, thanks for joining me today to talk about different types of fibers for hats. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Be sure to follow me, click the subscribe button, hit that bell so that way you can be notified the next time I go live. And I will talk to you again next week. Everybody have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.